Hi Barkha, this is Salim Bikanwala, a friend of the Mojo story. I've been on your channel and asked questions on a number of occasions, and follow your channel every single day, religiously without fail. Thank you very much for starting this campaign. Let's raise hell for Bilkis Bano, and an attempt to get her justice. I'd like to kind of step back a little and explore the situation we are in, right? If you look at a democracy, it is based on three primary pillars of the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Following that, we have a fourth pillar, which is the media, which is also called the fourth pillar of democracy. Now, our parliamentary system of government, we elect our members of parliament who then get together and elect the government. Um, and that basically, over the years, what we've seen is that compromises the legislature. The legislature, because the executive comes from within the legislature, the legislature just becomes a rubber stamp for the executive, especially especially when you have a brute majority in parliament. It is then, the democratic nature of the party in power that can retain democracy, or the separation of powers between the executive and the legislature. Obviously, that's gone for a toss, over the years. Except when there's a coalition government, we see a semblance of that separation existing. So what's left? Primary from the three branches of democracy, we have the judiciary, and the judiciary has a very important role to play, not only to kind of preserve democracy in India, but also to avoid the country from becoming a majoritarian state. And for that, what's most important is the protection of minority rights. This is one case where, let's fast forward to 2002. This is all, 1950 when the Constitution came into being, etc. Let's fast forward to 2002. What happened? The pogrom happened. The chief perpetrators of the pogrom haven't been brought to justice. They've been given a clean chit, right? So if the people who initiated the pogrom haven't been brought to justice and have been given a clean chit, downstream, what can you expect, right? You know that perpetrators of that pogrom are going to benefit from having the governments in the center and state protect them. So this is, although it's horrific, it's no surprise. Being a minority, I really, really feel for Bilkis Bano, but I'm not surprised at that why this has happened. This is bound to happen. If you've seen post 2002, what's happened to major cities in Gujarat, like Ahmedabad, for instance, have been completely ghettoized. There's a separation amongst the communities. People live in their own ghettos, their own mix, which is where we are heading in the rest of India. And 2002 to 2012 or 13, that 10-year span, we've seen a mass ghettoization, and basically completely quelling of minority rights in the state of Gujarat. The minorities have no rights. I mean, they have no sway in elections. They have nothing, and that's now what's existing in the rest of the country, right? Any party that seems to be aligned with the minorities is is afraid that they might lose the majority vote share, and that's happened over the last 8 years, where the majority community is more and more being brainwashed to hate the major minority community. Yeah, I'm all for whatever you're doing. And I think what happened to Bilkis Bano was horrendous. The rapists, I don't believe in capital punishment, very honestly. So the position that I hold is capital punishment is basically the easy way out, a life for life. They get it off easy. They should be doing rigorous imprisonment for the rest of their wretched life, and all the proceeds of that rigorous imprisonment, whatever the age, 70 years, 75 years, there should be no possible reason for clemency. Um, and all the proceeds of whatever they earn in jail through their hard labor, should continue to go to Bilkis Bano and her families as retribution. That will, I think, set a major example for others who may harbor these thoughts of, getting away with stuff. And this should be mandated by the Supreme Court. I mean, just imagine, the whole panel was rigged. The the judgment. I don't think I don't blame the Supreme Court so much in this instance because the petition in front of them was what remission policy should be applied. The one that was in existence at the time the crime took place, or the one that's currently been modified. And they gave their judgment based on that. They've not asked anything. They were not asked anything else. So it's Supreme Court I think absolved itself, and the petition in front of them from Mojo, Moitra and others is very clear to ask the government on what basis they were sent. Was due process followed? I don't think due process followed. Why can't we have whenever people even come up for parole, forget about being released, but even when parole hearings come up, the victim and the victim's families are present, and they every time in the United States, every time they go in front of the parole committee and plead their case. And if the convicts are able to plead their case, why not the victims? And why not Bilkis Bano was brought in? Why not all the photographs of the horrendous crimes that they've done placed before that parole committee? How can the committee itself be kind of one-sided to this extent? And going back to the trial judge, going back to the same, many open questions. The Supreme Court should make the necessary inquiries and then order all these men to be sentenced, to be put back in jail for the rest of their miserable life without any chance of parole. And since this judgment is now coming back saying you need to go back in jail, uh, they should now come under the new policy, which does not allow rape and murder victims any kind of remission. This is how I feel. Thank you for all the good work you've done over the years. More power to you. If I can be of any help, please do let me know. I'm sad, disappointed, but this is, things are just going to, I feel things are going to get worse before they get better. Thank you.